I've never believed in ghosts. I always thought those horror stories were just exaggerated tales people told to spook each other. But everything changed when I moved into dorm room 13 at Crestwood College. It all started on my first night in the hostel. The building was old, its walls covered in ivy, and the wooden floors creaked with every step. The warden handed me the keys and muttered something strange. "Just don't leave the window open at night." I laughed it off, thinking he was just trying to scare the new guy. If only I had known. That night, as I settled into my room, everything felt off. The air was heavier and a faint chill ran down my spine. I shook off the unease and went to sleep. But just as I was drifting off, I heard it. A whisper so faint I could barely make it out. "Leave. Now." I shot up in bed, heart pounding. The room was empty. I convinced myself it was just my imagination and went back to sleep. But that was only the beginning. Over the next few nights, strange things kept happening. My books would fall off the shelves without reason. The lights flickered at odd moments. And then, there were the whispers, always in the dead of night, always coming from the direction of the window. I kept telling myself it was the wind, but deep down, I knew something was wrong. One night, I had the most vivid nightmare. A shadowy figure stood over me, its hollow eyes staring into my soul. I woke up drenched in sweat, gasping for air, only to find deep scratches on my arm. My roommate, Raj, laughed it off. "Dude, it's an old building. Probably just the bed frame," he said. But I knew better. I had to find out what was happening. I started digging into the history of my room, and what I found still haunts me to this day. Decades ago, a student named Raghav had vanished without a trace from this very room. The only thing left behind was his diary. In his last entry, he had written, "It comes at night. I can hear it breathing." That night, I set up my phone to record while I slept. When I checked the footage the next morning, my blood ran cold. A dark figure emerged from the shadows, stood over my bed, and whispered my name. Then, in the blink of an eye, it lunged at me, and the screen went black. I ran. I left my belongings behind and never looked back. But something wasn't right. Even after moving to a new apartment, the nightmares continued. Every night, I felt it, watching. The whispers followed me, creeping through the walls. I started locking my doors and windows, but it didn't matter. It was already inside. One night, I woke up unable to move. The air in my room was ice cold, and then I saw it. The same shadowy figure from my dorm, now standing at the foot of my bed. Its hollow eyes bore into mine, as it whispered in a voice that sent chills through my bones. "You left, but I never let go." The next morning, I woke up in a different bed, back in dorm room 13. The walls were cracked, and the air smelled of decay. My belongings were exactly where I had left them. A newspaper lay on my desk, and my blood ran cold as I read the headline. "Crestwood student found dead in dorm room 13, 2 years ago." The photo beneath the headline was mine. I reached for my phone with trembling hands and opened the camera, desperate to see my reflection. But there was nothing there. And then, the whispers began again. Some stories fade over time, but the haunting of dorm room 13 never truly ends, and neither did I.